Welcome to Thriving Your Love, a podcast where we will guide and help you improve your most precious relationships in life. This podcast is produced and hosted by certified emotionally focused therapist Claudio Vargas Silva, licensed marriage and family therapist, and Trisha Kim Walsh, also licensed marriage and family therapist. Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to Thriving Your Love podcast, hosted by myself, Trisha, and Claudio. And we have a part 2 today, and how fortunate that we get to have and welcome back Shalini and Natasha, who we met through a Lyra Health workshop not too long ago, back in March, and we were enamored by their presentation on South Asian populations and packing in-law baggage, and how hard that can be for most of our couples that we work with when we are merging beautiful lives together, and then also supporting our partners who have family of origin that want us to connect with their culture, their identity, their spirituality. We were just so touched and moved by the way Natasha and Shalini spoke with great insight and great skill, but we were also struck by the connection and the friendship and the professional relationship they formed. So we asked, Claudio, myself, had asked Shalini and Natasha to join us on this podcast for our viewers to learn more about them and their specialties. They offer virtual care, but I also know they see clients here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And so here we are in part 2, and we'd love to start with Natasha sharing about her journey to couples therapy. There are many models out there. And so a lot of my clients will say, what's the difference between EFT and Gottman? I just look at it like if you're going to a bakery shop and you look at your favorite pastry and you say, I don't want pastry, I want cake, or I want a cookie. They're wonderful and they're rich and they're beautiful, and everyone has a different dessert that they want to treat themselves with. And if dessert is not your thing, it could be pizza next door. So the point I'm saying is we love celebrating different models. And although myself and Claudio celebrate the model of emotionally focused therapy, we're really excited to hear from you, Natasha, who's on the track of certification to Gottman couples therapy. And it's it's an evidence-based model, and it has world extensive research by the wonderful Gottmans based in Seattle. So I'd love to hear, Natasha, if we could start with you first, sharing a bit about your couples therapy background in the field of Gottman.
Sure. Thank you so much, Trish. I am so passionate about Gottman that I can go on and on. But just to kind of start with, I asked one of my friends, hey, which evidence-based therapy exists? Because I want to do it and I want to get more couples through Lyra, and, they are into evidence-based. So she told me, oh, it's Gottman, and you have trainings about Gottman too. And then I realized that my husband had bought the Gottman book for me to read so we could work on our relationship. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? I've been reading the book. Let me start doing the training. And when I started doing the training, I did level 1 and 2 online. It was so wonderful. I am such a big believer of this one thing, that if you're able to apply the therapeutic approach on yourself, then it will work with your clients as well. And that's what I saw, that with the help of Gottman, thankfully, my relationship was already very good with my husband, but it definitely improved. And it's something that I'm so passionate about, because once I did level 1 and 2, I started practicing it, and I started getting a lot of couples of South Asian origin, and I could apply it to them. And then I decided to just go ahead with level 3. I did level 3. And then I also noticed that there are not a lot of South Asian clinicians who have the certification. In fact, I don't know of any who have the certification. So I decided to go for the certification process, it's a long process, but then the consultation that I'm getting through the Gottman Institute, through my consultant, it is helping me so much. It's really helping me improve my skills. And one day when I met Shalini, I told her, I want to take Gottmans to India. That's my plan. And she was like, oh, okay. So she just reached out to me and she said, I'm in touch with these clinicians in India. Do you want to meet with them and talk about your interest in the Gottman approach? And that's how our journey started, where we are now in touch with clinicians in India. I am trying to now apply Gottman to the South Asian population and see how I can apply it, make sense of it. I know he's very popular in South Korea and in a lot of different cultures. And I think one thing that does stand out with Gottman is what he's talking about, the foundation of the relationship, which is the friendship and strengthening the couple dyad, how much they know about each other's world, how much respect and love they have for each other. So that just brings a lot of softness to the relationship. And you will see that couples who do get into these fights, they are able to bounce back quickly if that foundation is strong. And I think that is what is his major breakthrough. So, and the other part is that, once, which I do feel I'm like, once I am good with the Gottman approach, then I would definitely, through Shalini, I've learned some parts of the EFT approach, which I would love to start applying and do a combination, and that's been my journey. So I do get a lot of couples who are looking specifically for the Gottman approach.
Yeah, Natasha, I really appreciate you for going into more detail about the Gottman process, because I do want to emphasize to those who are listening that are not therapists, that are clients and couples, is this is an extension from licensure. So the hundreds, thousands of hours and the time that we go to graduate school to get our degrees, on top of that, this is like an extension of that love. And so that was very apparent to myself and Claudia when we took your Lyra workshop, is that you love this work. And I think there's nothing more relieving when I'm referring to couples therapists, when I know that they have done that extended training that they were not required to do. So just beware, listeners, viewers, there will be people that say that they're couples therapists, but they've not done that extensive training that I think is necessary to do that certification. And I want to emphasize, if you're seeing level 1, level 2, that isn't the track. That is hard work and time, not required of us, but required in the certification. So just so viewers, listeners understand that this is an acknowledgement of your dedication. And what you said, Natasha, really resonated with me, is a model that you are using in your own life with your relationship. Thank you for letting us get an opportunity to be a part of that journey with you, of the love and dedication and time you've placed in to help your clients, especially clients that are South Asian identified, to feel held with this model. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Trish. Really appreciate those kind words. Yeah.
Claudio, I was thinking, and feel free if we want to kind of segue, is what I was most struck in a way that Claudio and I have found each other as being kind of kindred spirits in the field of emotionally focused therapy. We were struck by the relationship between you, Natasha, and Shalini, of this natural flow and teamwork. And so, Claudio, I was most interested in hearing about you and this wonderful relationship they've built on. But I want to check in, Claudio, did you have another topic that you wanted to ask before we dive in there?
Yeah, I would comment, because our
Please.
listeners sometimes they listen to some words like model or modality or interventions, EFT. What does that mean, right? So a model is a type of therapy that we can work. And in terms of helping couples, the Gottman and EFT, which stands for emotionally focused therapy, are the most used and known worldwide right now. I read several books from John Gottman, and I liked to see the two of them together. Sue Johnson, who is the one who created emotionally focused therapy, she mentions a lot the work of Gottman, and there was even a workshop that the two of them recorded together. What you said, Tricia, it makes a lot of sense that people like therapists work to get their certification in these modalities. So they have a lot of training, and couples can go to them knowing that they are going to be really in good hands with people who are really very well capable to help them. This is why we decided to invite you, because we know that you guys are very knowledgeable and have a lot of training to help couples. So we want to hear from you now, Shalene, something about your work with EFT, how you came to EFT, and if you want to say something about EFT to our viewers.
Thank you both. Thank you, Natasha, for explaining and going deeper into Gottman so beautifully. I got into EFT, as I said earlier, in 2017 when Evelyn told me about it, and she's a dear friend, and she's also an EFT supervisor. And she was amazing. And she said, if you want to go deeper into couples work, you need a format, because I felt like I love couples work, but I didn't feel like based on my training or educational experience, I had enough of a format. So I looked at both Gottman, and I actually use the Gottman's house and the whole aftermath of a fight already incorporate that while I do EFT. So that was in 2017 when I did the externship. And as I said, I just loved it. It made sense how to say things, how to connect, how to reframe things, and especially about attachment, because attachment is such a foreign word in our culture. It is expected, not necessarily acknowledged and explained. So marriages are created by families. No one is talking about attachment, how the couple is attaching. And that's we see in our work a lot of problems that come up because the foundations are not made. People are expected to get married, expected to fall in love, expected to have families, but no one is talking about attachment because it's expected. You do all of that, you're attached. So it made a lot of sense in that space. I was like, oh yeah, we are not talking about it. It gave me words that I could explain to my clients. And then you can also look back, from different, therapies that we have learned. And I myself was in therapy for 14 years, love my therapist who's retired and who's now a dear friend of mine. So, and from her and my experience, what I learned is like you can do a lot of past work, trauma work, but we're not talking about all those experiences, their impact on attachment, and hence the attachment in the couple's relationship. So EFT really gave me that foundational awareness and knowledge. It kind of tied whole bunch of like strings that I knew together. And that's why I said I fell in love again with EFT. And also Gottman, as I said, I know a little bit. I've done workshops here and there. And Claudio, I've been to one of those events as well, those enormous events, and I was fascinated. And that was like in 2000, I don't remember when, a long time ago. But yes, so those couples workshops, those huge events that they have yearly, those are amazing. And so this is where I got introduced to EFT and started incorporating EFT. And I'm still learning. And I feel like after all these years, and especially going through now, I have supervision, which I really enjoy. And Tanaj is my supervisor, and I love seeing her. I wish I could see her like every week. So I think she could be sick of me. But I realized after all these years, because I'm no longer an intern and I'm now, I'm also certified as a supervisor and I've been licensed for many years, having supervision is so priceless. For me, it's just priceless. What I have learned in my supervision with her is helped me grow as a clinician and as a person. And I really enjoy having, showing her my videos, telling her about my sessions, about my clients, with their permission, of course, and then learning and growing from it. And I feel like I have just started, even though it's been a few years, I feel like I've just started and I feel like I have a lifetime to learn. So I really enjoy having this format, this framework that has been created that is very helpful for me. And that's how I think that's all I have about EFT.
Thank you so much, Shalene. And this is other thing to our listeners and viewers to understand what we do to learn. I think that all of us here have had supervision and we show our videos. So I became certified as a supervisor, but I still have supervision. And the group that I have supervision with, they are all supervisors as well. So we are still showing our videos and getting feedback from each other and learning from each other. So this is for our listeners and viewers to understand how important it is for us. And when you, as a couple, when you are having therapy with a therapist who is having supervision, you know that this therapist is working to grow, to learn more, to really be able to help.
We might have one more question. I think just being we as host here, and culturally, Claudio, you and I in our identities is we want to make sure our hosts are taken great care of. They're so in high demand that we know that they've got appointments with their clients. So we're going to have to send them off and welcome them. But we do want to acknowledge to our viewers and listeners that we are in the process of planning a workshop. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of exciting projects with Shalini and Natasha. So please note that we are really excited of the works to come this summer of 2024 and going onward. But I also want to quickly, if that's okay, Claudio, circle back of how our audience members and getting a chance to learn about you and I. So I wonder if maybe we could close on that for today. Shalini and Natasha, you sharing a little bit about the journey of you and I, what you've created together as a team and the services you offer, and how can our audience members get a hold of you if they want to seek your services out? Because I know, just like myself, is once I heard from you, I was like, how do I connect with these exceptional professionals?
So as Natasha was saying earlier, we met, I think one of our networking groups and so we've been now, like since Natasha mentioned about, let's do Gottman to India, and I got, why about just Gottman? How about EFT? That's one of the reasons we connected, is working together to bring these modalities into different countries. And through this journey, I was very lucky enough to meet with some amazing people in different continents. I think we met with people in India. We are collaborating with people in other countries, in the UAE and other countries, trying to figure out like who have been trained in the Western perspectives, how to incorporate that into make it more culturally specific in their areas. So that's where I think we are. We are in the process of starting. We have formal now as you and I relationship consultants, and we have done workshops we did with Lyra, and that same weekend we did the four of us with two clinicians from India, Natasha and I. We did that, another one on that Sunday, and then we are planning more that are coming up. The four of us are planning a workshop, and then we have two other planned in September and I think in September and October, right, Natasha? And I think we also have a presentation with the South Asian, the Mental Health Conservatorium, right, in June, that
Yes.
we're presenting to a whole bunch of clinicians again. And we also hopefully will present at other places. And for people who want to reach out, for clinicians, you want to reach out, you can reach out to us through our websites. The UNI website is under construction because it seems like we created stuff and then we are doing it backwards. I'm now creating the website, and you can reach it out to us through, I have my own website, shalinidayalmft.com. Natasha has her own. Reach out to us. For clients as well, you're welcome to reach out. For people who want us to come and speak at their events or any kind of things that are happening that they want, or gatherings, you can reach out again to us individually and we will connect with you.
Yeah.
And so, yes.
Yes, thank you, Shalini. And yeah, my website is natashakharbanda.com. And definitely what we are planning to do is also start our own podcast, just addressing some of the issues coming up between couples. And we are presenting, like Shani said, it's June 22nd at the South Asian Mental Health Conference. And then July, August, we'll be planning another workshop. And September, the workshops with Indian clinicians will focus on the interventions for clinicians who are dealing with South Asian populations.
Thank you, Shalini. Thank you, Natasha. We will also, viewers, if you're panicked and saying, well, how do I get this information? We're going to put this in our caption underneath our video. So we'll provide the contact so that you can be in touch with these wonderful, exceptional professionals, couples, healers, educators, leaders, so that you can feel the joy of what we are feeling right now in this moment, is sharing this space with them and their time. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, everyone, for listening and viewing, and we're excited to bring another episode to you of Thriving Your Love. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. We hope you'll join us soon again for our next episode of Thriving Your Love.